Well, hey there, team. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to some more Stationeers liftoff. Oh, geez, look at those things popping in strangely over there. Okay, very good. We've set up our furnace. We're, yeah, that's fine. That's cool. That's plugged in there. We've got the I think someone said you could just use a normal valve. Well, I mean, I don't want omnidirectional flow. I don't really want that. Well, actually, that doesn't really matter because this essentially has a valve on the back end. But I'm more interested on draining the entire furnace between sort of burns. If it was just a valve, you would open it, close it. Who knows what mixture would end up in there, and then the pressure would potentially, because it'll equalize across the whole system, would potentially stop flow of the sort of waste gases coming out of here. That's just a cleaner way to do things, is with a back pressure regulator. But I can understand the point that you probably could just get away with a valve. That'd be fine as well. You know, if you want to cut corners and that. We've got volatiles, we've got oxide, we've got coal, and we've got ore. So everything's ready to bloody go. Oh my god, I'm getting exceedingly competent at killing my plants, so that's pretty good. And we've got our grid going strong as well. Let's deal with the plants now. I mean, are they dead or are they savable? I can't tell. Clear potato. Oh yeah, he's dead. Alright, we're gonna have to pay a little bit more attention to the hydroponics setup. I think that'll be one of the next sort of things on the list is just, oh my god, why am I planting them straight away? No. It's very warm in here. How quickly do they die? Potato is wilting. Probably pretty quickly. Let's see. Set outward. Alright, that's nice. That's nice. Can't get much cooler. I'm not quite ready to upgrade the cooling system and by that I mean adding pipes to it, because we let this sit in the heat for so long that there's no telling how effectively it's cooling. But at 26 degrees we should be able to get a growth cycle through. Set outward, should be set to inward then. Yeah, so automating that will be on our list of things to do. Where them muesli bars at? I gotta start making an effort to eat them because we're kind of back to square one on the potato front. It's alright, this is all easily rectified, but you just gotta be careful. Just gotta be careful. Alright, so how much steel are we gonna need is a good question. I mean, there's probably really no reason not to just cook up a whole bunch. Well, just going off what we've got here, we could probably do a 30-10 split, I would say. We could probably just split one at a time here. Right? So let's just plonk that there. Coal 20. Hang on. I said I want to do 30. 30 to, split half. Yeah, that makes more sense. Alright, so you go there. Just got to set the ore situation up. We can split one off. Boys, come back. Now, this will be something that we'll have to deal with the auto miner having shit roll away at some point as well. God damn it. Alright, you know what? You can just roll there for the moment. Okay, sun's going down. Actually, no, don't do it.
Jetpack on.
Just bloody behave. Just sit there and stay there. Okay. All right, so we'll get the steel going, and that's the gateway to so many things. The power grid for starters, that'll be a big deal. Also, the auto miner will want another power controller / well, we could probably keep the power controllers I think require solder. Is that the thing? Yeah. So we'd probably want to substitute one of the power controllers for a fixed battery. We just got to be careful with that. Might need a transformer on top of that because we started creating brownouts and all that last time, if I recall, because actually that was because I turned on the power generator. But essentially it will draw as much power as the grid can give it. So I think ordinarily, well, that'll be interesting. Are we drawing as much as we can from the panels at the moment? I'm not sure. I think putting a fixed battery just in with this sort of generation shouldn't be a problem. But we'll find out if we blow up all our bloody cables, I suppose. Learn by doing and such. Alright. Now, there's all sorts of arguments about bloody perfect burns and all that sort of bullshit. Or you could just do a 1-to-1. That works fine as well. You gotta be quick, because it gets cold quick. Because, yeah, we want to be stingy about fuel. This shit doesn't grow on trees, Alright. There we go.
Jetpack on.
Come on. Crush my ore and open up and ask for more, please. Do I have to press the primer? I do. Okay. Alright. There you go. Steel. Bang.
Power low.
How good is that? Now, it doesn't seem to be emitting anything. You know what I mean? Like I've seen it blast like particles before, even when we were piped up. There, so there you go. It's cooling. The pressure and all that's cooling, so that's good. This is essentially acting as a valve at the moment. So I'm happy with that just sitting in there and cooling, like naturally to the sort of, yeah. I'm not in a hurry to jam hot gases in with my main gas mix there, Okay, that worked out fairly bloody straightforward, didn't it? It's almost like we're getting faster at this every single time. And it will be good to pull the power controllers out of the grid so that we can stop disconnecting the grid every time I swap my battery like that. Which was the main impetus of having the battery charger on the side. Anyway. How's that going? Well, yeah, that won't grow completely, actually. If anything, we can regulate the temperature. No, we'll let it run another night. Or until the next night. Because it pretty much takes like a full 24 hours for the potato, so they won't be grown just yet. Is this an electronics printer? It is. Battery kit, 20 gold, 20 copper. Wait, fuck off. Are you kidding? 20 gold. I mean, lucky we went on a bloody gold frenzy previously. Wait, I can't just put that straight in. What are you doing, Scarlet? That's going to take forever. I'm alright with that. I'll turn that off. 20 copper though. Might have to head out the backyard to dig some of that up. Oh, yep, okay.
Jetpack on.
I am excited to put the auto miner little build to use. It's been cool seeing some of your suggestions, guys. One bloke seems obsessed with the idea of building a room around the auto miner every single time. I think maybe he missed the thread. The point is, hypothetically, to break down and rebuild the auto miner every night. or however quickly, you know, that you can get the thing to run through a full cycle. So I'm building a room defeats the whole purpose of it. But we'll have to test. I'm pretty sure you can do it, like, especially when we played with when I played with the auto miner in the beginning, that was probably a first draft at the auto miner. But you could get it to dig a complete hole in one day. So you could essentially, you know, do nightly rounds similar to how I do my potatoes at breaking down the auto miner. I think maybe now it does take a little bit longer, but it's not full 2 days or anything like that. How hot's that? Oh wow, it's come right down.
Jetpack on.
And that's going to have also... Hang on. Oh no, right, that's just because that's running. Do I have an atmosphere detector in here? I do. So if we check in there, very warm, a lot of pressure, a lot of heat, but we've got all sorts of bloody nutrients in there. Not a lot of H2, like not a lot, less than 1% of that whole total volume, but it's still something. But essentially we've got all the gases. Are they the only gases in the game, the 5? I think they are. A lot of pollutant, which is X, and I believe, if I recall correctly, the best use for pollutant, according to some people, is as like a sort of coolant. I think the properties of its specific heat capacity are actually kind of helpful in that regard. Not really sure. So that's still cooking gold this whole time. Oh, there we go, finally done. Now the danger of that, like such a long cook like that, is it's going to drain the grid, and then what happens if the grid resets? Oh wow, look at that, it just ran out right when I was saying that. And the moon's still over on the other side, sort of thing. Alright, let's see. I only need 20 copper, but I don't know if we're gonna... Are they actually flat? Alright. I'm going to attempt my 20 copper. If I flatten the grid while it's all in there, what's going to happen? It's probably going to stop cooking, right? Okay, but then when we give it power, it's going to detect that it has something in there. Oh, it should actually resume. It should resume, hypothetically. Let's still split this anyway.
Hunger. Caution.
I'll put 24 in. We need 20. Might be worth testing this to see what happens. Yeah, if we do flatten the grid, I think it will stop immediately and it will spit out however many it's done. But then once we put power back into the grid, it should just start cooking immediately. Well, hey, hang on. There we go. Perfect. So I've got half of the theory right. But yeah, so as soon as the logic system gets power, it's going to say, hey, input slot equals 1 instead of 0 because there's still copper ore sitting in there. And it should automatically kick back in. Okay, that's fine. We have flogged our system pretty hard here, so I don't feel that bad about running it out of power. It's not like we have anything passively that can't handle it. Oh, we wouldn't be able to back pressure that anyway if we wanted to. That's got hardly anything in there. Okay, cool. So, bit of a waiting game now, to be perfectly honest. Now that we've run out of power, you just watch where we've got a little bit more time before night. Alright, so what's going to be next, I suppose, are the big questions. Well, we're going to make a battery. We've already decided that here. We're going to swap the battery out for the grid pretty much here. I think what we'll do is tear up this entire section here and put the battery down. Now let's just consider for a moment. It is all pretty simple, right? All the power's running from there into here and coming out the back of the power controllers down here and then into the logic, right? It's actually a dead end, right? The only thing that shares a data line with that. That's it. So I can't see the harm in putting a battery there and just having input there, output there. Yeah, that should be fine. I can't see it blowing any wires because 2 dishes aren't creating enough power, I don't think, to blow up the red wire on the draw side. So that'll be straightforward. So we'll pull them out. We could, we might be able to rig it so that we can leave the battery charger there. I mean, we just move it. It's not the end of the world. And then we're going to build the auto miner. And we're going to take our one of our spare APCs and work that into it. And we're also going to run a vent on it. Now, I think the small battery doesn't quite let the auto miner run to its completion. I think it might have in the earlier build. Like it would finish it and the battery wouldn't be flat yet. But maybe not now. But at the very least, we're planning on running an active vent the whole time. This is interesting. Let's refer to our jump start. There you go. Now they've got the power. And off they go. Yeah, is that automatically starting to cook? Hard to tell.
Jetpack on.
Because it only cooked 6 out of... That light doesn't turn green when you turn it on, does it? And I'm not seeing any gas or anything like that in there. That's troubling. Like, part of me is like, if it is still cooking another, what, 20 copper, we let it run, because it wouldn't have been finished by now. Oh, actually, here's a test. Do this. If it's cooked copper, it'll spit it out. Okay. Seems our system broke.
Jetpack on.
Now, how do we re-jump it? God help me, I'm considering putting like some more ore in. Terrible idea, of course. Split 1. Wow, that was weird. It didn't even animate. What's the smart move here? What's the smart move? I need to disconnect there and clear the chute. That's interesting how this is a problem if you disconnect the power. Okay, but there's no atmosphere in there. It should have all been pumped, so that's fine. So we should be clean to go in.
Jetpack on.
I can't get through, bugger. Wrench. Oh, okay. I can deconstruct from this range. Okay. You know when you start panicking that maybe there's something going on that you haven't comprehended? I hope we're not going to blow everything up. Oh my god. Okay. Okay. Fuck. Alright, so this whole system has a problem. in that I can't actually reach it for maintenance. This is good. Now, hey, you know what? You know I always talk about you can't just copy paste shit off the internet. You got to come up with your own solutions. This is why. Something inevitably goes wrong. And if you're not using your bloody brain, if you're just being some bloody squarehead that copy pastes someone else's solution, then you're not doing anyone any favors. And if you are that person and you're sad that I said that, well, you know, look inward, mate. Alright, what we want to see is there a way to make this sort of navigable? I do like it poking out there, you know? But might not be the best option. Can I pass under that? Oh, okay. Now this... Wait, what is this? A junction? Oops. Yeah, I was going to say, it shouldn't need a direction. Okay, cool. So we have free passage now. Which should help with maintenance. Now, do we have iron in here? Do we have any iron? There you go, we got a little bit of iron there. Oh, we got copper there as well. That would have been helpful. Alright, so... CHUTE. I only need really one, I think, because of the way that it worked in the detour.
Power low.
Oh, that should be much better. There you go, you can see the motion on the machine. Okay. That's interesting. That's interesting. Got to think about that. It's like that for the logic to work, it has to detect it going from 0 to 1 to be able to, to be able to switch. It was already in a 1 state when we turned it on, and it did nothing. Okay, a little bit finicky, but worth keeping in mind. Oh, I almost ran and turned the power off just then to swap my power out when we can't have that. We need to wait for this thing to eject. Hopefully it doesn't go ballistic where it falls out here. I kind of want to supervise it to see where the ingot goes when it finishes. Okay, not so bad. Let's plonk that there. Kit battery, cool. Oh, you know, what have you done? I was going to switch my power, but we don't want to do that. Oh, Jesus, that was quick. Nice. Okay, cool. So the battery's going to go there. Basically. We're about to potentially pull our grid out. We do have the coal generator there in the back. I mean, I don't really want to go all night without power, which is potentially what we're about to do. So I'm going to swap the battery out in the morning because I want to put it in that same spot. If I was putting it somewhere else, maybe I could build a gantry over there or whatever. But we want to pull all this out anyhow because we're going to use it for other things. If I pull it out now, we're going to have no power.
Hunger. Caution.
Yeah, I don't think that's the wise move, to be honest. We've made it this far without bloody dying. Let's not sort of...
Tech on.
Let's not start now. Alright. What I will do is suss out the small battery situation. Or large, whatever. Copper. Look at that. That's going to help a hell of a lot. An extra one in our grid is going to shore our grid up so much. Like the ratio, it's almost... I don't know what it is actually, but it feels like somewhere between 5 and 10 to 1 of the amount of value that you get out of this battery versus the small one. Which it's good. It's the ultimate incentive to upgrade to a larger battery. And the nuclear ones are disgusting again. They go up even more. What are we going to do here? Let's just drain that battery into that one. So quick. That was nuts. And then... Cool. Cool. So that's gonna help a huge amount. The only other thing I would potentially do is get yet another big battery and put it in the battery charger so I don't have to interrupt the power flow at all. But like we said, once morning hits, we're going to swap out the power controllers for the fixed battery. Sorry, the words escaped me. All right, this has been good. I'm pretty happy with progress. Put down the battery in the morning on the next episode, I suppose. And then the auto miner will be next with the gantry and the fan system plugged into it. The only reason I would ever put any walls or anything up, maybe even, the like little, you can put like railings and that, perhaps. I'm not sure, because like I said, I don't want to build a full room every time. But we'll come up with some sort of system so as to maybe capture the ore so it doesn't run away. Some sort of elegant solution that requires almost no building investment. So that's almost like a real project, you know? It's all good and well to build your utopic solution to a problem. Like for example, one of the commenters having a totally enclosed space and this, that, and the other, but that's not what we want. We want something that's absolutely time and material thin, so I can just tear it down and build it non-stop every day really fast and get back to the other tasks. So yeah. But we'll see how that goes when we finally cut our teeth on that one, probably next episode. Alright guys, thanks again for joining me. We might just leave it there for the time being and I'll catch you on the next one.